Hello everybody, my name is Tit Pleunik and welcome to the new video of the First knowledge base. Today we are focusing on the first 18 downwind sailing and jibing on the typical Windward Leeward Racing course. It's the second video of first 18 series, so if you didn't check the previous one addressing upwind and tacking, I suggest you to start with it first. Videos are from Slovenian Open National Championship 2020, which was held in Porto, Slovenia in the middle of June, and where we, together with the Galpo third fight on the trimmer positions, defended the national title. The goal of the video is to show you boat handling, crew work, and tricks and tips of well-sailed first 18 on the Windward Leeward course, in a team of 2. We're very light crew with about 145 kilograms in total. Wind conditions in the video are varying between light and medium, and sustained wind speed was between 7 and 10 knots, gusting up to 14. So, let's start with the Gennaker hoist. When you're approaching the upwind mark, there are a few things you can prepare in advance, like uncleating both of the Gennaker cleats and taking the sheets out of the row backs, but be careful, you should not extend the bowsprit as long as the throwing angle has not become larger than 90 degrees, as defined by the class rules. Basic step-by-step hoisting procedure was addressed in one of my previous knowledge-based videos. However, there is one main difference if you're hoisting the Gennaker in the racing mode. While the trimmer is focusing on the hoisting of the Gennaker and furling the jibe as fast as possible, helmsman takes the leeward Gennaker sheet just after opening the main. That way you can fill it much faster and trim it until the trimmer finishes the hoisting maneuver. After the handover of the Gennaker sheet, helmsman focus on the mainsail trim and tactics. Sailing first 18 downwind between 4 and 15 knots has one specific. You should sail much deeper downwind as you might expect. To sail as deep as possible, both of the crew should sit on the windward side and heel the boat on the windward on themselves. I know it might feel strange, it's tiring and uncomfortable, but that's how you will be able to sail much deeper downwind angles, because the Gennaker laugh will swing to the windward side, and you will have a bigger projected area of the Gennaker. Sailing downwind in light to medium conditions is constant play between speed and soaking deep downwind. You should continuously adjust the course, slightly laughing up when the wind drops a bit to speed up and you bear away in puffs. But be careful, we are talking about few degrees changes. As you can see in the video, steering in downwind is much more gentle and without sharp moves, because the boat is faster, both rudder blades are fully in the water, and too many movements on the helm would slow you down. Saying that, also Gennaker trim in these conditions needs to be gentle and smooth, and you are all the time trying to sail on the edge of the Gennaker collapse. Regarding the mainsail trim, open the main sheet almost completely, ease the out hole and lightly tension the wang so that on the waves the boom will not jump up and down. But be careful, you should not over trim it, because you still want to see the square top lightly flapping on the waves. In lighter conditions, described soaking mode work as long as the wind pressure is still able to keep the mainsail on the leeward side. When the mainsail starts to fall inside on you, so on the windward side, you need to change the mode and sail the boat flat and sail higher angles to fill in the Gennaker. On the other end, when the sustained wind exceeds 50 knots, you start to sail higher angles and switch to planning mode, looking for speed. The next crucial component of the downwind course is the jibe. Compared to the upwind sailing, you can gain even more if you manage to do the proper rolling jibe and pump the boat than you gain with the rolling tacking. In our case, for the difference to the tacking procedure, the helmsman is following the trimmer and the Gennaker. If the Gennaker gets stuck during the jibe, the only helmsman can solve the situation by keeping the course or maybe even jibing back on the previous tack. While helmsman is slowly bearing away, the trimmer is easing the Gennaker seat so that the Gennaker is getting in front of the boat and consequently easier around the forestay. Helmsman needs to focus on the mainsail. I suggest you to cleat the mainsail sheet, grab the mainsail for the cleat under the boom, pull it over just when you are directly downwind, and immediately after you are on the new tack, sharply pull the block to flip the battens. On the new tack and exit of the jibe maneuver, you first want to fill the Gennaker as soon as possible, and that's why the helmsman needs to point a bit higher than it's your actual VMG downwind angle. With power in the sails, the boat would start to heel, and that's when both of the crew should simultaneously pump up with their weight. And that's when it comes the crucial moment. The helmsman needs to bear away on your expected VMG downwind angle just after the pump, and the boat will fly out of the jibe. It's very important to do this last step, because if you do not bear away just after you pump the boat, you will lose 2 times. You will sail higher and you will not accelerate the boat. If the helmsman was counting down the pump in the tacking procedure, it's the trimmer who is calling the pump in jibes when the Gennaker gets full. After finishing the jibing procedure, it is important to get back into the downwind soaking mode as soon as possible. For that, you need to move the weight all the way forward, sit on the windward, heel the boat on yourself, and ease the Gennaker and the mainsail. Knowing all the details for successful rolling jibe, let's take a look on another jibe without interruptions and slow down sections. Detailed Gennaker dropping procedure was described in one of my previous knowledge-based videos. So here I would only like to point out that in racing mode, helmsman takes the Gennaker trim in last few boat lengths before the buoy, so that the trimmer can prepare all the ropes for smooth and fast Gennaker drop. Particular rounding of the mark in the video is far from ideal, but I can still make few comments. My first suggestion is to rather drop the Gennaker earlier than later, because with proper rounding of the mark you will gain more than by sailing the Gennaker for another few meters. When approaching the mark, you usually bear away for easier Gennaker drop and heel the boat to the lee side at the mark. This will allow you to pump the boat just after the rounding of the mark, get up to speed faster, and reduce the drift around the mark. Knowing all the details you need to be careful about, let's take another look on a few Gennaker drops from the drone perspective. I hope that this video answers some of your questions about the boat handling of the first 18, and stay tuned for the following videos on the knowledge base. Until my next knowledge base video, I wish you a lot of fun and joy with your first and Seascape boats, and fair winds.